What's going on, everybody? Yep, I'm back with another mukbang. This time it's one that I think a lot of you requested. I just came up with the idea one morning while in Lipa City in Batangas in the Philippines. If you've been following me lately, you know that I was actually on my family's farm in Batangas for quite a while. And while we were out and about in Lipa, I just decided to tweet out if I did a solo mukbang using JOLLIBEE Foods, which is, of course, one of the biggest fast food chains, probably the biggest fast food chain in the Philippines. I asked if a lot of you out there would watch, and you know what? The response was fairly positive. I would say almost overwhelmingly positive from everyone who decided to say either yes or no. So I went ahead, grabbed a bunch of it, and talked about a couple of different topics in this video, mainly just reacting to the food, but also I give a little bit of insight into why after one whole year, I'm still on my own after leaving my last company to do all of this tech reporting, tech YouTubing, whatever you might call it. So why don't you go ahead and just sit back, relax, and let's try out some of this JOLLIBEE craziness. Enjoy the mukbang, and I will see you in an upcoming video.
Hey, it's Joshua Vergara. What's going on, everybody? I had a crazy ass idea, and look what just happened. We are doing a mukbang of JOLLIBEE foods. Now, if you don't know what JOLLIBEE is one of the top, it's probably the top fast food chain out there. It's not a burger joint. It's not a chicken joint. It's not a spaghetti joint. It's not even a Loco Moco joint, which I'll show you in a little bit. It's just fast food. They just happen to have a lot of different items. I'm not going to guarantee that I'm going to finish all of this, but as I'm going to get into some stories in a little bit, you will know why it's so easy for me to finish everything that is in front of me, because I've been traveling for the last 2.5 weeks. We've been eating out every single day. My stomach is as big as it's ever been. All right, well, the Chicken Joy is right here. It's one of the top dishes that's there. We have a bucket of that chicken. So we have 4 pieces, or we did have, I took one of each. 4 pieces of regular chicken, 4 pieces of spicy chicken. So I went ahead and took out the spicy. There is a bit of a gravy that's here. And I got a side of fries with this burger that's over here. This is the amazing Aloha Burger. I'll probably show you in a second, but this is the burger that JOLLIBEE kind of popularized, where they have a slice of pineapple inside. I got double the meat on here, so if I don't like the pineapple, I am going to take it out. So all of you people who might be yelling blasphemy at me because of that, sorry. I don't normally like pineapple, but in this case, I'm going to try it. If I don't like it, it's coming out. So why don't we go ahead and get started? Got a bit of a Coke Zero here. It's probably the only sensible thing that's on this table right now. But yeah, I have been traveling for the last 2.5 weeks here in Asia. Started out in Tokyo, Japan, and we had a blast in Tokyo. Here's the first bite of the Chicken Joy. You know, that's pretty good, actually. It's not overly battered. It's also not overly salty. I actually had an inclination to get some KFC while I was here, because KFC outside of the US tends to be really, really good. But, you know, we had to do JOLLIBEE. I mean, this is exactly what I should be doing. I'm endearing myself to my Filipino audience because I tweeted out, should I do a mukbang with JOLLIBEE foods? And I had a lot of people say, absolutely. So to all of you out there who did say yes, that you would absolutely watch and that you love the idea, please share this video with all of your friends. I know I'm a tech guy usually, but I've been experimenting a lot on my YouTube channel. I just want to have a lot of fun on my channel. And since I was traveling, obviously that led to a lot of possibilities for that amount of fun. So if you like these mukbangs, if you like stuff like this, I want to try to do it regularly. And obviously I want to be able to do it with one of my homies, Danny Wingit. Quick shout out to him, fellow tech homie. He always wants to do mukbangs with me. We haven't been able to figure out how to do it yet, so I'm getting the ball rolling, and we will see if Danny and I can get together and do something like this, hopefully with healthier food in the future. But let's get a bite of this. This looks like white meat here, so let's see. Okay, it's white meat, but it's super tender. It's not even dry. It has plenty of flavor in it. Like I said, the batter is not too strong. There's not a whole lot of salt here either. It's not overdoing it in any one aspect. I actually like that a lot. All right, so it's been a pretty crazy last couple of weeks. after Tokyo, Japan, which I have been uploading vlogs of using various different cameras each day. I've been uploading vlogs of Tokyo, Japan, and we went to a number of different areas like Shibuya, Shinjuku. I actually did a tea ceremony, so you can look forward to that video a little bit later. It's probably the most cinematic video I've ever done because I just kind of slow-moed everything, and I wanted to capture how serene and zen that experience was. So there's a lot of that coming pretty soon. But right after the Tokyo trip, we just flew all the way here to the Philippines, down to Manila. And right now where I am is actually the family farm. Yo, bro. Right now we're actually on the family farm, which is about 2 hours north of... North? It's 2 hours away. It's 2 hours away from Manila in an area called Batangas. And right next to us is an area called Lipa City. So that's where all of this food came from. And as you saw in the beginning clip, it was delivered here. So I'm spending some time with my family here on the family farm. A lot of there's a fair amount of animals all over the place. Cows, chickens, goats, one dog. One poor dog who generally seems happy, but he's definitely been through a lot because a lot of the fur's fallen off of him. The dog's name is Joel, by the way. But yeah, we came into... I'm going to use... Oh, here. Good, I have one. We came into Manila, and the idea was to be in Manila City for a little while, hang out with my girlfriend, Isa Rodriguez, who was also a proponent of this mukbang. So, Isa, thank you. If I feel like crap when we leave tomorrow morning for our next destination, you know who to blame. And I wanted to, or rather, we wanted to stay in Manila for a little while to explore the city. That way my brother and I could reconnect with it. My brother hadn't been here for a little while. I obviously have been back a few times because I come here to see my girlfriend from time to time. And she comes out to LA and, maybe we'll do mukbangs at that point as well. But yeah, the area that we stayed in was Makati, and we just went all over the place trying to eat a lot of really good food. And we honestly did. Like, one of the first meals that we had was at a place called Locavor. And Locavor is it's just Filipino fusion turned up to 11. They have such great dishes there because they look at the original dishes of Philippine cuisine, and then they ask themselves, what could we do to take this up a notch? One, I won't go through too many of them because obviously we're focusing on this food right now. But one of the main dishes that's over there that I love so much is a Sizzling Sinigang. So, Sinigang, for those of you who don't know, is a sour soup base with beef and vegetables inside. It tends to be very tangy and sour, which is mostly the appeal of that. And that flavor base comes from tamarind. So it's one of the staple Philippine dishes. It's one of the staple Philippine dishes, and it's usually like a very good soup. Definitely something you put into a big bowl. Imagine some sort of... It's not even really a stew. Like, it's very liquidy. It's very, very light in terms of the liquid. But in this case, what they do is they take that dish. They put it into a sizzling plate or on a cast iron or something, and they cook it long enough so that all of that flavoring just reduces. And all you're left with is like a sizzling plate of highly flavorful meats and vegetables. But if anything, us being in Japan and exploring all of the food that's out there and eating a lot made us ready for the fact that we were going to eat a ton in the Philippines. And I was actually kind of hoping that my brother would join me on this mukbang. Even if he wasn't on camera, he was going to be right on the side. But we were going to talk about how there's some obvious differences between Japanese and Philippine cuisine, not just in the foods that are prepared, but just the fact that in Japan, you could actually get different kinds of foods, and it's all considered Japanese food. You can get takoyaki, you can get wagyu steak, you can get ramen, you can get yakitori, you can get all these different types of things that are all part of one cuisine, but they're so distinct from one another. The thing is, for the last 2 weeks, we've been here in the Philippines. We went off to another area of the Philippines called Bohol, which is a remote island. It's a beach resort of sorts. It's a beach, and there's a resort. That's where we stayed. And yeah, every single day that we've been here in the Philippines, we've had basically the same food. Dishes like crispy pata, dishes like sisig. These are both pork dishes that generally have a lot of oil and a lot of crunch to them. And we were eating those foods all of the time that eventually, your palate just gets overwhelmed by it. Don't get me wrong. I ate everything up. This has been a very unhealthy trip for me, but somehow I don't feel like I'm incredibly unhealthy because we've been walking around so much. And if you can't tell, it's really hot in the Philippines. That's not news to anybody. It's always humid and hot. It's I think 91 degrees right now, even kind of late in the day, with a humidity that is very palpable. So everything's moist. I'm sure a lot of you hate me for saying that word. All right, so I'm gonna leave the spicy drumstick here. I'm actually really excited for that. Been eating the fries up. The fries are very standard. Since they were in the back of that motorcycle trunk, they're very dangly and honestly, probably the least enjoyable part of this whole thing for now. But another staple dish here at Jollibee is the Jolly Spaghetti. Now, one thing I really wanted to get from there, but the local branch, the local franchise, didn't have any of it anymore, was pancit palabok, which is a noodle. And palabok generally has a little bit of a like a brown sauce or like a peanut sauce base to it. And it's really satisfying. It's a very good, thick noodle generally. At least the ones that I have had back in the US are, because we go to places like Manila Sunset, which is a chain in the US. It also is here in the Philippines, where they make a palabok that is sort of like the de facto. It's the point of reference that most people have when it comes to pancit palabok. So I wanted to have some of that. I have to remember that I should slow down because I do still want to be able to say all the things that I want to say. And if I keep going a mile a minute trying to eat and all that, gotta chill out. So with that in mind, let's chill out, have some of the spaghetti, which is the noodle that they had at this branch here near the farm. You have these little hot dog slices in here, some cheese on top. Obviously, it's just spaghetti with a... what's the name of the sauce? The red sauce. I'm losing my mind right now because it's really hot in here. I'm trying to do a mukbang. I'm eating. I'm going to be sweating my ass off by the end of this video. Anyway, let's mix this up a little bit. And look at how... This is fast food, guys. This is just finding the easiest ingredients, putting it together, selling it cheap. This is what a lot of Filipinos actually eat fairly regularly. I mean, Jollibee is so popular. And one thing about Jollibee that thankfully I never had to experience is that when you eat at one of the restaurants, you can actually have the mascot come out, and it's a giant red and white bee. Granted, now that I'm an adult, it looks kind of cute. I'm not gonna lie. And there's also like levers inside of that suit that allow the eyes to open and close, which is hilarious. And it just dances to the Jollibee song, which is of course super catchy and super bubbly. But you know what? As a kid, I had no time for that. Wasn't my thing. Even though there were Jollibees around our area in Southern California, never really ate at them. I mean, it's been years since I've had this. So here's the Jolly Spaghetti. Well, I think I need to add something to this because, to be honest, it's tasty, but it's tasty in the way that a lot of things at McDonald's are tasty. Half the reason why is because it's sweet. In the Philippines, there's so many foods that have a lot of sugar in them. If you go to a boba spot and you just order something that sounds like it won't have much sugar in it, it's going to be just blasted with sugar. You gotta tell them, bring it down to 25%, bring it down to less sugar. In here, the sauce, I had the name in my head for the red sauce just for a second. I'm gonna get it by the end of this video. The red sauce has some sugar in it, no doubt. There's no doubt about it. But one thing that's really missing here is some spice. Hold up, you know what? I ain't gonna let it go like that. Hold on. I'll be right back. Yes. I had to add some of this in. Some of that sweet, some of that salty, some of that spice. Sometimes you just gotta add your own stuff to this. We're still enjoying and appreciating Jollibee as it is. but sometimes you just have a craving for some of that extra flavor. So let's see how this goes. All right, so back to just sort of the story of our Philippine trip here. In Makati for a little while, we actually went to Poblacion for a bit, and it's funny because I am with my family here, and my girlfriend was taking us around. But Poblacion is sort of for the younger crowd, where you go out there, you drink, have late night eats. A lot of expats out there trying to hit up on some Filipino girls. I'm sorry, but it's just the truth. There were a lot of foreigners in many of the places that we were hanging out in while we were in Manila. And that trend continued because we were going to a resort in Bohol, Panglao in particular. Alona Beach, I believe is the name. And the resort was called Henan. And there are a lot of Filipinos around, but the point I want to make there is that all of the Filipinos that were in the area were basically workers, were basically working. They're all part of the resort. There are Filipino families that are vacationing there as well, but I'm pretty sure that my family and I were the only Filipino Americans that were there. So you can imagine what kind of dichotomy there is there. There's this very big dip in the kinds of people that are all at that resort. You kind of think that there can be a lot of Filipinos, but then it's us, and then after that, you have people from many different other cultures. There are a lot of people from China there, a lot of people from Korea there, some people from Japan as well. So Bohol in particular became it was a touristy destination, but it's almost as if it's a lot like Cabo, the way that we treat Cabo in the US. We go there, and it's where we vacation, it's where we spring break, it's where we do all of that stuff. To them, kind of the same thing. Oh yeah. That is exactly what was missing. Add a little bit of spice, this opens up beautifully. I will say though, the cheese that they put on here, JOLLIBEE, the cheese that you put on here, it like disintegrates. I can't even taste it. I don't know what's going on there. I gotta put that down for a second. A little bit too much of any one flavor at one point. Gotta enjoy all of the different flavors, and try to make sure that my palate is ready to actually understand all of the different layers to these flavors. All right, I'm gonna leave the spice out of the way. After all, I added some to that. Now, the beauty of Bohol is obviously the nature, the fact that we could get out onto the sea, and within that one, let's say 5 to 10 mile radius out on sea, there are so many other islands there as well. So we did go island hopping, and island hopping was really, really fun. I was the idiot that did not wear swim trunks that day, so I was feeling uncomfortable because I was wearing like proper shorts, and because I was wearing proper shorts, I ended up once they got wet, I felt very uncomfortable. It was just not a good time. But a picture like this came out of that. Meanwhile, my girlfriend, who obviously is from here, she's all about the beaches in the Philippines. She knows exactly what she's doing when it comes to all this stuff. She had her swimsuit on. She had me take her pictures as a good Instagram boyfriend I am would do. And pictures like this came out. So these beaches in the Philippines, like white sands, whatever the case may be, really her forte. So me, I'm kind of like a bat out of water. What's bat out of water? Fish out of water. Me, I'm kind of like a fish out of water, trying to understand everything, trying to get more comfortable in everything. And to be honest, even though I loved the beaches, and while we were doing the island hopping, we got into the water a little bit, I just kept wanting to come back to the pool because the pool was just easy. It's clean. You don't have to worry about seawater, because there tends to be a lot of stuff in seawater. And also, I wanted to get better at swimming in general, and I know how to swim. Don't get me wrong. It's just I've never been particularly great at it. So, all right, opening up this burger. It's already got the look of a McDonald's burger. I wonder if I can find a spot here to show you. So I see that where's the? There it is. There it is. So the meat already looks not incredible. I'm going to go and bring this up to you right here. Let's see if I can get a good shot. Actually, let's do it this way. There you go. So I got the meat here. The meat. Peel back this this meat right here. There's that pineapple. This may or may not go very well. But yeah, this is imagine, if you will. Let's get that focus back. Imagine, if you will, a McDonald's burger, and they just added a pineapple to it. There's also honey mustard in here because apparently that's supposed to balance out the acidity or balance out the sweetness of the pineapple. But oh boy, here we go. Again, you got to give props to Jollibee. They found a way of capturing that feeling you get from eating McDonald's. My family, my brother in particular, has been incredulous for every remark I've made during this trip that McDonald's, it's actually not all that bad. Like I get that it's unhealthy food. I mean, look at me, I'm eating unhealthy food right now. And when I get home after this trip, I'm definitely going to be fasting for like a good 4 to 7 days or something. just reset my body and to minimize the damage as much as possible. But McDonald's, it's just it may not be substantial food, it may not be healthy food, but there's a certain feeling to it that when you eat it, like it just tastes good. Even if you think of the ratios, even if you think of all of the different things about it that could be wrong, taken as a whole, taken as a complete, like think of a Big Mac, you take a bite out of that. There's a certain memory, there's a certain part of you that just remembers, like, oh yeah, that was tasty. I can see how people could feel that way about this burger here. So I'm gonna leave that pineapple in. You know what? Because it's one little ingredient compared to all of the other stuff that's in here. It's not. I'm not gonna say it masks what I don't like about pineapples. And even then, I can't really even explain why I don't like eating pineapple whole. I like pineapple juice, but I just don't like eating pineapple. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna let it slide this time. No. There's a bacon strip in here. The bacon is a welcome addition. But yeah. Anyway. Behold was a beautiful place. The resort area obviously is a precursor to what might happen in that area where, kind of like in Cabo, you just have this string along the beach of all these really high-end 5-star resorts. And Henan is sort of like the pioneer of that. It's like the first one. Here's to hoping that it kind of elevates itself a little bit, because honestly, a lot of people don't remember half the time that Filipinos, our heritage as Filipinos, if you look at Filipino Americans, you might not remember that their ancestry and their heritage comes from a third world country. Life is tough out here. There's a reason why things like this exist. It's because it's trying to provide affordable food to the people. There is a lot of pride behind Jollibee, behind all of this stuff, and that's true. But obviously, you just gotta get by on the daily, and that's what we saw. Aside from all of the lovely resort and beach stuff that was going on in Bohol, or any of the fun drinking and eating that we did in Manila City. Yeah, my brother actually gave this burger some props. I mean, look at me. I'm halfway done. I'm gonna put it down for a second though. It seems my brother gets the same feeling I do when I bite this burger. There's just a certain memory that gets triggered when you eat a burger that's made in this particular way. In his case, it's Carl's Jr. In my case, it's McDonald's. But I see where he's coming from with the Carl's Jr. remark. Good old Coke Zero. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get into this spicy. Why does it say new? I feel like spicy. Look at this flag right here. Gonna have to do this manually. Look at that flag right there. Apparently spicy is a new flavor. I don't know if I believe that. I think I've heard that there's been spicy chicken at Jollibee for a while now. But we're gonna go ahead and get into the spicy. Just put this over here. And here we go. This is a substantial wing, by the way. Okay. The spice starts to creep up on you a little bit. Not that spicy. It's there. It wants to come out. But it's not. This chicken wing right here, though, I wouldn't say KFC. I get feelings of Church's Chicken out of this. But Church's Chicken has way more breading. And also way more spice, I will say. It's so tasty. They call this chicken joy for a reason. Okay. I'll finish that later. I wonder if jumping among all of the different types of food that's right here might end up making my palate overloaded. So let me scoop up a little bit of this here Jolly spaghetti with a hot dog. Okay, so far so good. I'm not feeling like absolute crap yet. I'm sorry, Jollibee. Your stuff is delicious, don't get me wrong. This is not what I eat on a regular basis, though. And if I'm going to end up doing mukbangs once every week or every 2 weeks, I better be prepared. I'm going to be living off of bone broth and protein shakes in between every episode. All right, so Bohol was a great time. We had a lot of really good food there, and I want to give one shout out to one place in Bohol, the Bohol Bee Farm. What a beautiful place! Like they just have their local bee farm products, everything from actual honey to Burt's Bees type products for like lips and like skincare and whatnot. Good on them for all of that. But the best part about it was their ice cream. Coconut milk base, which means that it's non-dairy. But they had flavors, all of the typical flavors you would expect from a Philippine ice cream spot. Ube, buko, even durian. That was a good one. Durian is one of those things that I feel like everyone should try once. I actually like it. I know that the smell is very pungent. It's very bad. It's a little bit like stinky tofu, though. If you take up a little bit of stinky tofu, you smell it, you're like, oh, geez. But then once you put it in your mouth, the moment that you actually take a bite, you realize it's just tofu. When it comes to durian, I eat a piece of durian and it's just a fruit. Tastes good. It's sweet. It's a fruit. And I think my gateway into actual durian was that I ate durian candy. And they were like, this is what durian tastes like. No smell, obviously, because it's a candy. And once I had that, I was good to go. All right, got one more. This one's heavy. Oh my goodness. Got one more thing. This is the burger steak. This is basically a loco moco in fast food form. So our Hawaiian brothers and sisters out there, want some of this burger steak? Take a look at it though. Got some mushroom on there, some gravy. Look how they package the rice.
Like a wannabe onigiri.
So since we came from Japan, and I'm sure I probably have spoken enough about Japan in all my content already. We were spoiled, honestly, out there because, Japan's just an amazing place. I just realized I didn't have any of the gravy, by the way. But check out this rice packet. This is literally a ball of rice. Again, the joke is that it might be like an onigiri. Jollibee, get on that. Maybe onigiri is something you should try making. But yeah, this is just a mound of rice that I'm going to open up, put into this one section right here. I have a fork. I'm just going to... The fork, obviously, that I've been using. Look at this amount of rice. Oh, man. Talk about mass production. Assembly line, mass production, fast food status. And it's just white. What's up?
He's going to turn on the...
Okay.
Gonna leave.
Where are you going?
We're going to buy something, sugar and salt from my mangoes.
Okay.
It's going to be your thing.
Okay. My parents are leaving right now to get a few things because this farm, I didn't really give too much info about the farm, but this farm, despite having some livestock and some cows and goats, it's also a mango farm. So they went ahead and got a bunch of the mangoes, the green mangoes, the sour ones, and they want to get salt and sugar and seasonings and whatnot to be able to eat the sour ones. So if you've never done that before, sour mango with something like plum powder, or as a Filipino, we obviously put something called bagoong on there. Bagoong is a shrimp paste that you might have seen in Thai or Vietnamese cuisine in particular. It's it's very salty, and it very much complements the sour and the light sweetness that a green mango would have. Oh, let me try this. I'm sorry, I didn't do it with the chicken, but I'm going to try the gravy with the fries. Yeah. This is gravy. That is Church's chicken gravy right there. But speaking of gravy, we have this one now. This is the last dish that I'm trying. I don't know if I'm going to be finishing literally everything here, but I wanted to try everything. And again, Jollibee, your local franchise here near Lipa City. No pancit palabok. Definitely wanted some of that, but it's okay. So, I don't know how much there is to say about this particular dish. It's the burger patty that is found in the burger, in the amazing Aloha Premium, the Yum Burger. That McDonald's meat with gravy. I want to say these are mushrooms on top. There you go. There are some mushrooms on top, gravy, and then some rice. Have some of that. Have some of the rice. All right. This is where the shade's going to come in, all right? I travel a lot. And clearly, I'm here in the Philippines, for crying out loud. And I came from Japan. I'm actually going back to Japan tomorrow. Technically, this is my last meal in the Philippines. I don't know if that was the best idea. But because I travel a lot, I also know what airplane food tastes like. And this is dangerously close to that. The meat doesn't have much substantial. It's not very substantial. Mushrooms, they're small, not even that chewy. And the gravy, it's Church's chicken gravy. After that, you get a little bit of that. You get some of the rice. The rice is what puts it over the top as an airline food. There's just no finesse to it. We've been spoiled on this trip by Japanese rice, garlic rice. I also say sinanag. I don't even know if I'm saying that word right half the time. Garlic fried rice in the Philippines. This is literally just packaged rice, the kind that you would get in like a little plastic baggie. Throw it in the microwave with a small paper towel that's wet on top of it, just so you can get some moisture back into it. And then it's just like hard grains. Definitely the least satisfying part of this meal. Yeah. I'll eat the meat, but I think the rice has got to go. So, I mean, if you have this burger steak and palabok, the pancit palabok, I think you're golden. I mean, that's a pretty good 2 different flavors in one. You don't have to rely on rice all the time, and that's the thing about the Philippines is that everything is all about that rice, which is why I've been eating so bad for the last 2 weeks. It's just the way it is. Every single meal we've been taught by our parents growing up. And I think a lot of people out there can relate to this. Our parents teach us to eat everything on the plate. The more you do that as you grow up, the more you do that with foods that you probably shouldn't be doing that to. Think about the next time you go eat out. You have a lot of stuff on your plate. You eat all of it. You feel like crap afterwards. That's the product of your childhood, of your upbringing, because we all go through that no matter what. I think most kids get that and then grow up to be this, because I'm probably going to finish all of this food after I hit the record button and say goodbye on this video. But yeah, Jollibee, thank you for nourishing me on this. Technically, this video was sponsored by my father, who paid for this food. Hashtag father sponsored. Ooh, maybe that should be a term. The spaghetti's starting to get a little cold, which is ironic because it's a very hot country. But as the spaghetti gets cold-ish, you start to lose some of that flavor, start to lose some of that joy. It's not as jolly as it once was. I'm gonna go ahead and mention once again that I'm actually heading to Japan again tomorrow. Some content that's going to be made out there. That one's actually for work. The last 2.5 weeks were supposed to be a vacation of sorts, but obviously it's almost as if I just can't go anywhere without doing some form of work. I always have to be doing something. I have to be moving. I have to be, the only times that I actually rest and do nothing is when I've done too much and I need to recharge and my body just shuts down. It happened a lot on the way to this trip, but in the couple of weeks leading up to the actual departure, I actually kind of rested up because I was getting ready for the trip. I was really excited. And even though I was hoping to hit 100,000 subscribers, the fact that I chilled out for a while meant that I wasn't going to hit it when I turned 30 a number of days ago. So those two things didn't coincide, but I was able to spend my birthday in a lovely place in Bohol, spend it with my family, and I love them so much. It's because of them that this trip was even possible. And spend it with my girlfriend and her family. And we all were able to have a great meal together in Manila. So it's been a pretty awesome. You gotta try this.
I had the spaghetti, I had the burger, I had some chicken. I will admit, it's actually pretty good.
Right? Okay, what I was saying on this video is that Jollibee found a way to sort of recreate that feeling you get when you're eating the fast food you like.
Yeah.
The burger gave me Big Mac vibes, like their version of a monolithic burger. You know.
The pineapple, I was a little hesitant at first.
Yeah.
But after a couple bites, it is a little reminiscent of pineapple on pizza.
Yeah.
And it worked.
It worked. Yeah. This is the. Let me warn you real quick. That's the least exciting part of this meal.
Yeah, I won't have it.
Well, the meat's fine. It's just that the rice is like from an airplane.
Oh.
Because of the way it's packaged.
Especially since we've been to Japan, like right before this.
Exactly what I was
and
saying.
we've been spoiled by rice over there. Okay, let's try this.
The rice is the worst part.
The rice. Oh man. If they served that rice in onigiri, I would throw it back.
Yeah, we would hate
That's how
onigiri.
bad it is.
But yeah, I've just been recounting our trip in a way, mostly the Philippine stuff, because we've been eating like this. Better things, I will admit. This is probably the least healthy meal that I've had this entire trip, but it does taste damn good. Like, can't believe that. What was I getting at in the last part? I'm just so happy to be able to spend my birthday with everyone. I'm 30. And I'm at the point now, and it's funny because I'm in this farm where my father. I mean, I'm not going to show a lot of it, but you actually get a glimpse of it in this cabinet behind me. There's a lot of paraphernalia all over this farmhouse. A lot of stuff that my dad took from my old tech. After all, I've been doing the whole tech scene since like 2013, 2014. A lot of old stuff, that was when smartphones were just starting to boom and tech was becoming like a lucrative thing to make content about, I want to say. I think it always has been, but at that point it was the YouTube boom. And I was a part of that, obviously, at Android Authority. So we took a lot of those things and, I turned 30 while here in the Philippines. And it's interesting because I get to come into this farm and be reminded of all of the things that led me to this point. This whole Jollibee thing, it's fun, mukbang, whatever, but it is also a moment for me to just sort of contemplate and to thank all of you for coming along on this journey with me, where I decided to leave that company. I decided to leave Android Authority to pursue my own goals, to just kind of have fun. That's not to say that I wasn't having fun in Android Authority. There was a lot of fun to be had. I was there for basically 6-7 years, for crying out loud. But it was time for me to sort of carve my own path. And I just wanted to get to that point where a lot of YouTubers have gotten, where they do their main thing for like 5 to 10 years. In some cases, there are some 10-year YouTubers out there. And the moment they get to that point where they're like, all right, I've paid the dues, I've done all of this content, maybe the content I'm making isn't quite as popular as it used to be, and I think it's arguable for most genres on YouTube these days, I'm just going to start doing me. I'm just going to start doing my own thing. And the thing is, when you're working at a company and you have like all those numbers, you have all of those years under your belt, The thing is, you're working at a company and they have sort of like a formula to the content, or they just have content that obviously you're meant to churn out. That's just the way a publication works. So in my case, I wasn't really able to make that YouTuber shift, and I really wanted to. And I think the only way that I could was to kind of pull the trigger and risk it being out on my own. And so far, it's been pretty great. It's been a little bit over a year since I started, and I'm already close to 100,000 subscribers. There are lulls and everything, and I wish I could fix that, like with the snap of my finger, but it just happens, like where I just go quiet for a little while. But I do want to get back to it. I mean, I felt energized during this trip. Nothing energizes me for content more than travel, because I always want to just document where I am, have a lot of fun with it. And of course, the editing process and the logistics at the end of the filming process are always the hardest things to start. But I want to get back to a place where I'm like not churning out, but I want to be consistent. I want to be doing content that you all enjoy, that you're all going to tune in on. Things like the podcast, gaming videos, even mukbangs, if I'm able to do stuff like this more often. I mean, this is basically a solo podcast. It's just I was eating stuff. So I hope that you all have enjoyed this video. I certainly have enjoyed the year that I have been that has been leading up to this point. One whole year of me going solo on YouTube all led to me eating JOLLIBEE on camera for 45 minutes. But yeah, I'm gonna get a couple more bites in, and if I have any final thoughts, I'll go ahead and throw them out there. But yeah, thank you guys again so much. Like, just subscribe to this channel, get me to that 100,000 mark, and then I'm gonna let all the brands know that I'm finally hit that mark, and I can start doing like really like crazy stuff with like products that are out there, and get away from the, not really get away, but like do things other than smartphones. Because man, the smartphone industry right now is just so crazy. There's so many things coming out. There's so many phones that you just get overwhelmed, and you end up getting behind on it from time to time. And I certainly am right now, and I'm going to catch up the moment I get home. As soon as I sleep for like 36 hours and fast the entire time. But I'm looking forward to getting back. I am going to Tokyo one more time tomorrow for work, and I'm looking forward to that because Tokyo is just such an amazing place. I want to go there every time I have an amount of time that I can just like go on a small workcation or even a vacation if I somehow get ahead of my queue and ahead of my work for once. I want to definitely make it Japan. Japan is just, that's how special that place has become. So being able to go there also means I could probably pop over here, maybe visit my family, visit the girlfriend. It's one of the many different times that we can probably see each other. All right, so now we have, okay. I put a little too much gravy on this. Let's see. All right, yeah. All the spiciness went away because the gravy overpowered it. Mabi. Rookie mistake. Rookie foodie mistake. You know, I can't believe I'm doing this. Let me know what you think of these mukbangs. Get into the comment sections. Let me know. I'll try my best to do more content like this. Clearly, a lot of the Filipinos who are in my subscriber base really wanted to see some JOLLIBEE on camera. And also JOLLIBEE, I wonder if you're going to end up seeing this. I wonder if you're going to end up seeing the tweet that I put out earlier this morning where I came up with the idea to do this. It would be great to partner up, just saying. So if JOLLIBEE is out there and you end up seeing this video and you want to do some work together, well, maybe I'll be in the Philippines a little bit more often in that case. But in any case, that's okay. That's pretty good. Added some spice. This was the most disappointing part. I'm going to get back to the surprisingly familiar flavor of the Aloha Burger. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and call it on this one. Thank you so much for watching. This is another mukbang. Never thought I would actually be doing this kind of stuff on my YouTube channel, but if you like it, let me know. Let me know you want more. Drop some likes on these videos. Share this video with everybody else, because I'm sure there are a lot of Filipinos out there who might be wanting to see JOLLIBEE on this channel, me eating it. And by the way, I am absolutely Filipino. I love that a lot of you out there think I'm something completely different. But I also understand why you might think I'm half Filipino, because I'm not good at Tagalog. So, okay, tit for tat. It's all good. But in any case, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. I'm trying to get to that 100K subscriber mark. But of course, we're not just ending there. We're going to go beyond all of that. And I'm going to continue doing all of the work here on my channel and having fun with it. And I want you to have fun with me. So thank you once again. And Yeah, I think that's about it. I'm going to call it on this one, finish up this food if I can. And I'll just remind you to enjoy your Jollibee, everybody.